Surya
Yes.
Prabhu, that is,
Who are you over here? Oh, you got me. You got me. Okay, I got you. Hey, Hare Krishna. Hey.
Araceli, nice to meet you.
Sophia.
Hey.
Hi,
Araceli, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, sweet. So smiley.
All right, well, it's already, we're gonna go ahead and start, and you're welcome to make yourself comfortable, as you rest around the corner. And we're gonna go ahead and join in the main area first, so if you all want to join us, we'll stand in the altar room to start, and we'll begin.
The other body? Ignore? No. Come on. The other body?
Oh, this is really pretty.
It's beautiful.
Lord.
I'm so glad you guys can use that Durga.
Where do you want us out or in?
Standing. Yeah, here is perfect. So we'll start with puja. And for those of you who have not seen puja, it's our way of honoring God inside of us and outside of us so that the two merge. And the traditional offerings are incense and fire and food and flowers and all sorts of different things so that we can awaken all of our senses. So, Surya, if you can start us in. So today we give special offers not only to the Guru, but also to Vishnu, to Krishna, and Radha, and of course, Ganesha and Narasimha. So let us begin. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gandham Samarpayami Shri Ganesha Namaha. Shri Narasimhaya Namaha. Shri Vishnu Namaha. Shri Krishna Namaha. Jai Parvati Ma Namaha. Jai Radha Namaha. Jai Lakshmi Namaha. Jai Kali Namaha. Om Deepam Samarpayami Shri Ganesha Namaha. Shri Narasimhaya Namaha. Shri Vishnu Namaha. Shri Krishna Namaha. Jai Parvati Ma Namaha. Jai Radha Namaha. Jai Lakshmi Namaha. Jai Kali Namaha. Om Jalam Samarpayami Shri Ganesha Namaha. Shri Narasimhaya Namaha. Shri Vishnu Namaha. Shri Krishna Namaha. Shri Shiva Namaha. Jai Parvati Ma Namaha. Jai Lakshmi Namaha. Jai Radha Namaha. Jai Kali Namaha. Om Navidam Samarpayami Shri Ganesha Namaha. Shri Narasimhaya Namaha. Shri Vishnu Namaha. Shri Shiva Namaha. Shri Krishna Namaha. Jai Parvati Ma Namaha. Jai Lakshmi Namaha. Jai Radha Namaha. Jai Kali Namaha. Om Pushpam Samarpayami Shri Ganesha Namaha. Shri Narasimhaya Namaha. Shri Vishnu Namaha. Shri Shiva Namaha. Shri Krishna Namaha. Jai Parvati Ma Namaha. Jai Lakshmi Namaha. Jai Radha Namaha. Jai Kali Namaha. on this special day, we love to give bhajans. Number one today to Ganesha, to remove all the obstacles that are in our way, but to also bring us the most auspicious obstacles. To Ganesha, to bring us wisdom, to bring us strength, grounding, and courage. Gajananam bhuta ganadi sevitam kapita shambhu parasara bhakshitam Umasutam shokha vinyashakaranam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam. And of course, to Narasimha, the fierce protector, the one that brings us strength in every grain of sand, in every speck of dust, through every thought and every feeling. Namaste Narasimhaya Pralada Ladadaine Hiranyaha Kashi Purvakshaha Shilatanka Nakalaye O Narasimha Parto Narasimho Yato Yato Yami Tato Narasimho Bakir Narasimha Hridaye Narasimho Narasimhamajim Sharanam Prapasye Kava Kava Kamalavare Nakamabhuta Shringham Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tano Bringham Keshava Drita Narahare Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. And I'd love to invite everybody over to make flower garlands for the altar while Prabhupada Surya Prabhu is speaking. Just this.
All right. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for coming to Krishna Conscious class at the ashram that we have on Saturdays. Today we are going to read a story, we'll do some chanting and some kirtan. One of the things that we talk about at Krishna Consciousness class is receiving the unshakable mercy of the shelter of the holy name. That's a mouthful, but when you experience that, you know, you can only use really big words. I really like the word unshakable. To not be, you know, stunned or confused or bewildered. To always, you know, have your mind in correct thought. One of the stories that I will be sharing today has to do with the ferocious form of God known as Narasimha or Shingadev. He's over there on the wall right there, so you can get a visual meaning from it. But one of his names translates as to never bewildered and always sober. And it's not talking about the type of sobriety that comes from alcohol, although it could be, but it's always in correct thought. It's always in the mode of righteousness, actual righteousness, not righteousness that is manufactured from the false ego. Righteousness is something that a lot of people like to talk about and get ideas from that just inflame and expand their ego, but true righteousness comes from God. And when your mind is concentrated and affixed on God, you can't help but live a righteous life. I'll just start. So there was a demon king. His name was Hiranyakashipu, and he wanted to be ruler of everything, all of it, absolute. And he fought wars, he fought battles, he challenged gods, and he grew in power exponentially. And that power wasn't enough for him. So he decided to pray to Brahma to get the attention of Brahma so he would get special requests, special boons. So he goes up to the mountain and he starts to pray and to meditate. And he's on that mountain for years. Meanwhile, he has a wife that's pregnant, and the gods favor her, and they don't want her to be by herself while her crazy husband is on the mountain for years. So they take her to village that is worshippers of Vishnu, God that's in the mode of goodness. And they read her scriptures, and they perform sacred pastimes, and they live in the mode of goodness. Last week, we talked extensively about the three modes: the mode of goodness, the mode of ignorance, and the mode of passion, and how they all kind of steer our lives. But she was enraptured in the mode of goodness, and so was the son that was in her womb, and his name was Prahlad Maharaj. And when he was born, he loved God more than anybody has loved God before, because he spent his entire gestation time in the womb, listening to chanting and to scriptures, and he was in a holy place. And when he was born, he just wanted to preach, and he wanted to teach others, the true love of God, the absolute reality of God, and just the glory that comes with that lifestyle. So Hiranyakashipu is on this mountain for years and years and years, for so long that a tree grows in between his toes, and he's like covered in, vines, and he's chanting, "Oh Brahmana Namaha, oh Brahmana Namaha," because he wants to get the attention of specifically Brahma, because he heard that that's the guy that will grant your wishes. And finally it happens. Brahma appears. He was like, "You are my greatest servant. What can I do for you?" And Hiranyakashipu, even though he spent years in meditation and humbleness, still hasn't lost sight or transformed any of his wants. So he's like, "I want to be the most powerful person in the world ever. I want to be stronger than God. I don't want to be killed by man or beast. I can't be killed day or night. I can't be killed indoors or outdoors. Can't be killed by a weapon, and I can't be killed by armies." He just wanted to be more powerful than God. So Brahma grants him this wish. Later on, Brahma is told not to associate with demons and don't grant their wishes, which, that carries on into our life as well. So he returns, the most powerful sorcerer that's ever lived. And his wife's back. They gave birth to Prahlad. And Prahlad, and I mean, he's like, a very young child. He starts talking about God. He starts talking about Vishnu, and he makes the mistake of telling his father that Vishnu is greater than his dad. So his dad flies off the handle and destroys all the temples that have to do with Vishnu and any god that's greater than Hiranyakashipu, right? So all the temples are destroyed. Statues of Hiranyakashipu are carved into the mountains. Religion is replaced with Hiranyakashipu, and all of the, kingdom has to bow down to this demon king. Prahlad is sent away to school, and he starts to preach, and he talks about God, he talks about the omnipotence of God, he talks about God's mercy. They're like, what is mercy? We haven't experienced that because A, all of us are demons, and B, this Hiranyakashipu up on the throne is not allowing us to worship properly, but we know there's something greater. So Prahlad continues to preach. He gets into a lot of trouble with his dad. His dad hires, or he doesn't hire, but he asks his closest associates to go and kill Prahlad in many different ways. Prahlad is protected by God, so he always gets out of what is happening. Like, he's supposed to be crushed by elephants. Once the wild elephants see Prahlad, they stop and they pray. This type of thing happens a lot in his life. So finally, his dad gets fed up with it, and this is all false ego and ignorance, just building up and building up. And so finally he's like, if y'all can't kill him, I'll kill him myself. I'm gonna kill my son because I'm tired of his prayers. And Prahlad, even though he's his son, he's so enwrapped in worship of God and humbleness and trying to understand everybody. He understands why his dad is mad. He understands that, this is how people are going to act when they're completely wrapped up in the material world. Hiranyakashipu translates into gold and soft bed. Because gold obviously is one of the strong players of the material world, and if you have a soft bed, it's because there's a lot of activity on it. So he was completely possessed by the pleasures of the world and power, and just couldn't believe that his son, this 7-year-old boy, wouldn't bow down to him and accept him as God. So Hiranyakashipu is fed up with this, and he's like, I'm just going to kill you myself and stop talking about God because you're about to meet him. So that's where this starts. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And this story is being told by Narada Muni. So it says, Narada Muni continued. All the sons of the demons appreciated the transcendental instructions of Prahlad Maharaj and took them very seriously. They rejected the materialistic instructions given by their teachers, Sanda and Amarka. Those are the teachers in the school that were teaching that the demon king was the worshipful form, and that you shouldn't worship other gods because there's just the demon king. So everybody that Prahlad encountered and that he talked to turned their life around and turned their hearts towards God. Hiranyakashipu hated this. This is the effect of the preaching of a pure devotee like Prahlad Maharaj. If a devotee is qualified, sincere, and serious about Krishna consciousness, and if he follows the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master, as Prahlad Maharaj did when preaching the instructions he received from Narada Muni, then his preaching is effective. When Sanda and Amarka, the sons of Sukracharya, observed that all the students, the sons of demons, were becoming advanced in Krishna consciousness because the association of Prahlad Maharaj, they were afraid. They approached the king of the demons and described the situation as it was. When Hiranyakashipu understood the entire situation, he was extremely angry, so much that his body trembled. Thus, he finally decided to kill his son Prahlad. Hiranyakashipu by nature was very cruel and feeling insulted, and he began hissing like a snake trampled by someone's foot. His son was peaceful, mild, and gentle. His senses were under control, and as he stood before Hiranyakashipu with folded hands. According to Prahlad's age and behavior, he was not to be chastised. Yet with staring, crooked eyes, Hiranyakashipu rebuked him with the following harsh words. Hiranyakashipu said, "O most impudent, most unintelligent disruptor of the family, O lowest of mankind, you have violated my power to rule you, and therefore you are an obstinate fool. Today I shall send you to the place of Yamaraja." Yamaraja is the Lord of Death. "My son, you rascal, you know that when I'm angry, all the planets of the three worlds tremble, along with their chief rulers. But by whose power has a rascal like you become so impudent that you appear fearless and overstep my power to rule you? Prahlad Maharaj said, my dear king, the source of my strength, of which you are asking, is also the source of yours. Indeed, the original source of all kinds of strength is one. He is not only your strength or mine, but the only strength for everyone. Without him, no one can get any strength, whether moving or not moving, superior or inferior. Everyone, including Lord Brahma, is controlled by the strength of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the supreme controller and time factor, is the power of the senses, the power of the mind, the power of the body, and the vital force of the senses. His influence is unlimited. He is the best of all living entities. He is the controller of the three modes of material nature. By his own power, he creates this cosmic manifestation, maintains it, and destroys it as well. Prahlad Maharaj continues, my dear father, please give up your demonic mentality. Do not discriminate in your heart between enemies and friends. Do not make your mind equipoised towards everyone. Except for the uncontrolled and misguided mind, there is no enemy within this world. When one sees everyone on the platform of equality, one then comes to the position of worshiping the Lord perfectly. In former times, there were many fools like you who did not conquer the 6 enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. These fools were very proud, thinking, I have conquered all enemies in the 10 directions. But if a person is victorious over the 6 enemies and equipoised towards all living entities, for him there are no enemies. Enemies are imagined by one in ignorance. Hiranyakashipu replied, you rascal, you were trying to minimize my value, as if you were better than me at controlling the senses. This is over-intelligent. I can therefore understand that you desire to die at my hands, for this kind of nonsensical talk is indulged in by those about to die. He's arguing with a 7-year-old boy.
7 years old.
O most unfortunate Prahlad, you have always described a supreme being other than me, a supreme being who is above everything, who is the controller of everyone, and who is all pervading. But where is he? If he is everywhere, then why is he not present before me in this pillar? He continues, because you are speaking such much nonsense, I shall now sever your head from your body. Now let me see your most worshipful God come to protect you. I want to see it. The purport says, Demons always think that the God of the devotees is fictitious. They think that there is no God and that the so-called religious feeling of devotion to God is but an opiate, a kind of illusion, like the illusions derived from drugs like opium. Hiranyakashipu did not believe Prahlad Maharaj when Prahlad asserted that his Lord is present everywhere, because Hiranyakashipu, as a typical demon, was convinced that there is no God and that no one could protect Prahlad. He felt encouraged to kill his son. He challenged the idea that the devotee is always protected by the Supreme Lord. Being obsessed with anger, Hiranyakashipu, who was very great in physical strength, thus chastised his exalted devotee son Prahlad with harsh words. Cursing him again and again, Hiranyakashipu took up his sword, got up from his throne, and with great anger struck his fist against the column. Then from the pillar came a fearful sound, which appeared to crack the covering of the universe. This sound reached even the abodes of the demigods like Lord Brahma, and when the demigods heard it, they thought, oh, now our planets are going to be destroyed. While showing his extraordinary prowess, Hiranyakashipu, who was desired to kill his own son, heard that wonderful, tumultuous sound which had never before been heard. Upon hearing the sound, the other leaders of the demons were afraid. None of them could find the origin of that sound in the assembly. To prove that the statement of his servant Prahlad Maharaj was substantial, in other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. That form was either that of a man or that of a lion. Thus the Lord appeared in his wonderful form in the assembly hall. While Hiranyakashipu looked all around to find the source of the sound, that wonderful form of the Lord, which could not be ascertained to be either man or a lion, came out from the pillar. In amazement, Hiranyakashipu wondered, what is this creature that is half man and half lion? Hiranyakashipu studied the form of the Lord, trying to decide who the form of Narasimha standing before him was. The Lord's form was extremely fearsome because of his angry eyes, which resembled molten gold, his shining mane, which expanded the dimensions of his fearful face, his deadly teeth and his razor-sharp tongue, which moved about like a tooling sword. His ears were erect and motionless, and his nostrils and gaping mouth appeared like caves of a mountain. His jaws parted fearfully, and his entire body touched the sky. His neck was very short and thick, his chest broad, his waist thin, and the hairs on his body as white as the rays of the moon. His arms, which resembled flanks of soldiers, spread in all directions as he killed the demons, rogues, and atheists with his conch shell, disc, club, lotus, and other weapons. It's interesting that they say that his hair was white because in the world, here, whenever you see a pure white animal, like a pure white deer or a stag, wolf, it's a really big deal. And in all cultures, those pure white animals are connected to God and to the knowledge that God wants you specifically to have. Hiranyakashipu said to himself, Lord Vishnu, who possesses great mystic power, has made this plan to kill me. But what is the use of such an attempt? Who can fight with me? Thinking this and taking up his club, Hiranyakashipu attacked the Lord like an elephant. Just as a small insect falls forcefully into a fire and the insignificant creature becomes invisible, when Hiranyakashipu attacked the Lord, who was full of effulgence, Hiranyakashipu became invisible. This is not at all astonishing, for the Lord is always situated in pure goodness. Formerly, during creation, he entered the dark universe and illuminated it by his spiritual effulgence. Thereafter, the great demon Hiranyakashipu, who is extremely angry, swiftly attacks Narasimha with his club and began to beat him. Lord Narasimha, however, captured the great demon along with his club, just as Garuda might capture a great snake. When Lord Narasimha gave Hiranyakashipu a chance to slip from his hand, just as Garuda sometimes plays with a snake and lets it slip from his mouth, the demigods who had lost their abodes and who were hiding behind the clouds for fear of the demon did not consider that incident very good. Indeed, they were perturbed. When Hiranyakashipu was freed from the hands of Narasimha, he falsely thought that the Lord was afraid of his prowess. Therefore, after taking a little rest from the fight, he took up his sword and shield and again attacked the Lord with great force. Making a loud, shrill sound of laughter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arayana, who is extremely strong and powerful, captured Hiranyakashipu, who was protecting himself with his sword and shield, leaving gaps open. With the speed of a hawk, Hiranyakashipu moved sometimes in the sky and sometimes on the earth. His eyes closed because of fear of Narasimha's laughter. So just by him laughing, he realized that this was the end. He was all proud and haughty and was like, I'm gonna kill God. And then after the sound that God made, he was like, oh my God, what have I done? So, as a snake captures a mouse, or Garuda captures a very venomous snake, Lord Shingadev captured Hiranyakashipu, who could not be pierced even by the thunderbolt of King Indra. As Hiranyakashipu moved his limbs here, there, and all around, very much afflicted at being captured, Lord Shingadev placed the demon on his lap, supporting him with his thighs, and in the doorway of the assembly hall, the Lord very easily tore the demon to pieces with the nails from his hand. The purport says, Hiranyakashipu had received from Lord Brahma the benediction that he would not die on the land or in the sky. Therefore, to keep the promise of Lord Brahma intact, Narasimha placed Hiranyakashipu's body on his lap, which was either land or sky. Hiranyakashipu had received the benediction that he would not die either during day or at night. Therefore, to keep this promise of Brahma, the Lord killed Hiranyakashipu in the evening, which is the end of day and the beginning of night, but is neither day or night. Hiranyakashipu had taken a benediction from Lord Brahma that he would not die from any weapon or be killed by any person, dead or alive. Therefore, just to keep the words of Lord Brahma, Lord Narasimha pierced Hiranyakashipu's body with his nails, which were not weapons and were neither living or dead. Indeed, the nails can be called dead, but at the same time they are said to be alive. To keep intact all of Lord Brahma's benedictions, Lord Narasimha paradoxically but very easily killed the great demon Hiranyakashipu. Lord Narasimha's mouth and mane were sprinkled with drops of blood, and his fierce eyes, full of anger, were impossible to look at. Licking the edge of his mouth with his tongue, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narasimha, decorated with a garland of intestines taken from Hiranyakashipu's abdomen, resembled a lion that had just killed an elephant. the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who had many, many arms, first uprooted the heart of the demon and then threw him aside and turned towards the demon's soldiers. These soldiers had come in thousands to fight with him with raised weapons and were very faithful followers of Hiranyakashipu, but Lord Narasimha killed all of them with just the points of his nails. The hair on Narasimha's head shook in the clouds and scattered them here and there. His glaring eyes stole the effulgence of the luminaries in the sky, and his breathing agitated the seas and the oceans. And because of his roaring, all the elephants in the world began to cry in fear. And it goes on to talk about how angry he was and how he could not be sated. And he continued to, kill the armies and destroy things, and just couldn't be sated. And finally, they told Prahlad that it was only his word that could calm the Lord, this brutal, destructive, protective form of the Lord. So Prahlad Maharaj kindly asks Narasimha to, calm down and stop. And in an instant, with the word of his loved devotee, he calmed down. He sat on the throne and he embraced Prahlad as his own child. This story teaches us two things: that the Lord will stop at nothing to protect his devotees. He is unconquerable in that state, and that God loves you so much, even if you're a demon king, that he's going to give you what you ask for. So Hiranyakashipu is the most powerful sorcerer in the world, and has been, and there won't be anybody more powerful than him ever again. He was the topmost sorcerer and warrior in the world, hands down. So the death that he experienced by the hand of God is the only type of death that this type of person deserved. Like, a great warrior deserves a great death. Hiranyakashipu, even though he was cruel and crooked, was still very, very powerful. And because he was very powerful, he deserved a powerful death. There was no other way for him to die, right? And God knew this, and God granted him that death. Even though it was horrible, it was heroic. And people are talking about it to this day, right now, in California. God will stop at nothing to protect you. And if it's not your time to die, you're not gonna die. If it's your time to die, nothing can stop that. There is nothing produced on this earth that can prolong your life. Everybody's got their line, and it's composed of breaths, and there's a number on those breaths. And when your number is up, then that's it. There's nothing to prolong that. You can shorten it for sure, but there's nothing created to prolong life or to stop death. Everyone is guaranteed to exit this planet, and it is dependent on how you live in the present moment of how that is going to happen. But Hiranyakashipu, and I haven't said that name this much ever, deserved to die like that. He deserved to have God personally come to his house and rip him apart on the altar, because nothing else would have been fitting, because he was the most powerful person ever. So it's gruesome, but God's going to give you what you want, even if you don't know what you want. So the sooner that you know what you truly want, the sooner that you connect to your soul, which is the only part of you that's connected to God, it's going to ease your life, and it's going to put light on your path, and you're going to know what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to interact with others. There's a lot of different forms of how to get in touch with your soul and how to get in touch with God. In Krishna consciousness, we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, because we're taught that that mantra is not separate from God. That mantra is non-different from God. That mantra has all the sacred potencies that God has. It is the Yuga Dharma for the Kali Yuga. That means it is the tool that we use that's the quickest way to transcendental liberation and to connect with God. If you look at the picture, you see Prahlad Maharaj offering garlands to Narasimha, because he is unafraid, even though thousands, like armies, were slaughtered in an instant. He is not afraid because he understands that all of that was done out of love. You know, all of that was done out of love to protect the devotee. You know, fighting demons still happens today. And if you're not aware of how to fight demons, you're going to be in trouble. In the Kali Yuga, the demons reside much closer to you than you think that they do. There's kids here, so I'm not going to go into all of that. But they're closer than you think. and they don't sleep. So having the right tools to fight demons is really important. The greatest tool that I have is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's the one thing that resonates with me, and it's the one thing that has helped me conquer demons. The peace that everybody wants so badly is created. You have to create your own peace. You just can't be peaceful, man. You have to create that peace, and it's work. And Krishna consciousness is work. I wanted to read a little quotes about the holy name, because all of the scriptures talk about the holy name. All of the scriptures talk about chanting and the transcendental vibration of God and what that means. But I'm going to read a couple of things and then we'll take a short break. In the Garuda Purana, it is described, if one chants the holy name of the Lord, even in a helpless condition or without desiring to do so, all the reactions of his sinful life depart. Just as when a lion roars, all small animals flee in fear. Whatever is achieved in Sata Yuga by meditation, in Treta Yuga by offering ritual sacrifices, and in Dvarpa Yuga by temple worship, is achieved in the Kali Yuga by chanting the names of Krishna congregationally. What that means is all the rituals of the past that were really important, all of that can be achieved today in the Kali Yuga just by chanting the holy names. I'm going to read this one again because I like it. Whatever is achieved in the Sata Yuga by meditation, in the Treta Yuga by offering ritual sacrifices, and in Dvarpa Yuga by temple worship, is achieved in Kali Yuga by chanting the names of Krishna congregationally. The famous one, Haranama, Hamiva, Kevalam, Kalalud, Hastiev, Nastiev, Hastia, Evagatir, and Hathia. Chant the holy names, chant the holy names, chant the holy names of the Lord. For in this age of quarrel and confusion, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. What does that mean? That means that in the past, like the old yugas, that people had more time, they lived longer, their lives were different. You could live your whole life in a cave, meditating on the mountain, trying to get close to God. You could sacrifice animals. You could, there's a lot of different austerities that are still practiced today. But the scriptures tell us that in the Kali Yuga, which is this time, that the quickest way and the easiest way, and easy's not a great word, but it is a very understandable way. And the quickest way to transcendental understanding and transcendental liberation is the chanting of the holy name. It replaces a lot of things that maybe we don't have time for, we don't have the bodies for, we don't have the lifestyle for. We were born here and we weren't born there. You know, the time for austerities has gotten very, very short, but chanting, the vibration is always present. It is vibration that literally keeps everything in the universe existing. And when that vibration stops, everything will stop existing. So, you know, Krishna's word, the name of Krishna, chanting Krishna and Krishna are all the same thing. So tapping in to that power source is, I don't want to use the word easy, but it's super understandable because all you have to do is chant. And it's been said 100 different times in 100 different ways in 100 different scriptures. So we're going to take our short break and then we'll chant some rounds and then we'll do kirtan. And thank you all so much for coming out. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Lord Narasimha ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes.
Well, she was asking about this painting right here, right?
Mhm.
And she asked if the lion was back. And
The lion is getting rid of a bad.
The lion is not bad. He is bad for others, but he is solving a situation that was bad, for sure.
He looks scary though, doesn't he?
He looks scary.
He looks scary. He's
He does look
God's
scary.
protector. So anybody that goes against God in such a cruel way, this lion comes and he says, no, I'm gonna protect God. So that's what he's doing there, is protecting God.
All right, a little bit simpler.
Time change has got me kind of scrambled up.
Oh my
Sleepy.
God.
Yeah, real sleepy. I'm looking forward to this initiation.
I
Looking
looked
forward
at
to
him
showing.
and I thought, for years ago, he's scary. Yeah, he's got like fingernails, like lightning bolts. He's a
right, so we're gonna chant around on our beads, that's called japa. And then after we do japa, we'll do kirtan, and kirtan is the congregational chanting of the holy name, while japa is chanting on beads. Meditation, active meditation. There's lots of different forms of meditation. Meditation doesn't necessarily have to be like, you know, you're quiet and, you know, you're not gonna do anything for hours, you're just gonna do this. It can be movements, you can walk around, you can you can be mindful of, you know, the task that you're working on, you know, yard work can be a form of meditation, but when you're doing your japa, it is best to, you know, try to sit still and concentrate on the syllables of the mantra. When you chant that vibration, you know, you hear it in your own ears, and then it goes in, and it helps, you know, cleanse your body like atom by atom, right? And it, you know, cleanses the space that's around your heart, that's reserved for God and love of God and God's love. Love from God is the only language that your soul can understand. So when you chant, you're connecting to your soul because you're projecting that love of God inward and outward. And when you chant, it benefits everybody around you. It helps your home, it helps your friends, it helps your enemies not be your enemies. It changes the vibration. A lot of people talk about vibes. This changes the vibration of what's going on. Chanting the holy name, you know, cleanses the dirt that's all around you. It purifies everything around you, and it purifies the hearts of the people that are surrounding you. The first bead is always reserved for the spiritual master, the spiritual teacher. That bead's called the Kuru bead, and I always hold that bead up to my third eye and say a prayer before I start chanting. So I give my humble obeisances to my Guru and my spiritual pastor, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, who pulled me out of the ocean of suffering and misery. I am eternally grateful for your unshakable mercy. Hare Krishna. And then we'll start. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. All right. Did one round. Wonderful. Do y'all want to take a short break, or do you want to go into kirtan?
How do you do it, Kirtan?
Either way.
Kids are probably getting ready to get hungry.
So when you do kirtan, if you want, you can have an instrument. We can all gather up in this space if you want. And let's see. Let's see. Open this up. And we'll go ahead and aim this right on Krishna. Zoom this in on Krishna. There we go. Both of them. Okay.
There's, everybody can sit down. There's bells and shakers and noise makers. Can you sit down?
I need to stay back a minute.
Okay. All right. Kirtan is the congregational chanting of the holy name. What we just did was called japa. Kirtan is for the benefit of the deities. That's why the deities in some form should always be present during kirtan. I'll start. Y'all have heard the words. So, yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, what are we chanting? Like, what are those words? You sure do say them an awful lot. The first part addresses the Lord, and it's, "Oh Lord." And then the second part addresses the energy of the Lord, or the Shakti of the Lord. And it's, "Oh Lord, oh energy of the Lord. You know, how can I be in your service?" And the energy of the Lord is the inspiration of the Lord. And the inspiration of the Lord is Radha. So you're addressing the Lord, and then you're addressing the inspirational energy of the Lord. And then you're saying, you know, I'm just me. How can I be in your service? How can I do the right thing? How can I exist more in the mode of goodness? And there is no like end result. There's no like, oh, God stops, you know, here. You know, the scriptures tell us that we're not supposed to understand God, that we're not supposed to have that understanding because it's impossible to understand the absolute. When Arjuna was talking to Krishna on the Kurukshetra battlefield, Krishna gave him a glimpse of that universal form because that's the beginning of the Kali Yuga, and Krishna revealed himself to everything and everyone as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But that's not the most easily understandable form. The easily understandable form is Krishna as a young boy, as a cowherder. So we try to separate God into different packages, but God is one, and we're not going to understand that. But it will take us lifetimes to even come close to that supreme knowledge. But when we're asking God, you know, oh God, oh energy and inspiration of God, how can I be in your service? Like, how can I be closer to your presence? Because you're not trying to get to God. God's not over there. God is literally right here. We're inseparable from God. So we address God, and then we address the inspirational aspect of God, or the passion of God, and we're just saying, like, you know, how can I be better? How can I be transformed into what I'm supposed to be? And that's a lot of what real prayer is, you know, saying, I am who I am. I need some help so I can be better. And there's 100 different ways to say that, but the most powerful form in the Kali Yuga is chanting of the transcendental mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you all for coming to Krishna Consciousness class. This is always really, really fun for me, and it helps me in my craft. Thank you all. We are going to go and enjoy some prasad now.